What's up, guys? We got the red set review going on here. And we got Chandra up in this piece. Stop touching my butt, lady! Jesus. Fudge. Anyway, we're going to be doing rankings from 5 all the way down to 0 with 0.5 increments. Got it. It's going to be pretty toy. And it's going to be pretty lit. If you guys are going to be ready to start it, then you will be very happy that it's going to be starting soon. But not right now. I got more to cover. Anyway, we got something extra very special. I put a mini map up in the, if I can get my bearings straight, in the top left-hand corner of the video. So in case you guys didn't see the video explaining the different rankings, we're going to have it up there. Otherwise, you can go see the video for that as well to give a better explanation of it. Limited set review only. We're going to be going over how to draft, become a better drafter, and all that stuff. So to gain that insight, to get better at that, definitely keep watching. Alright? Go in peace, bro. Subscribe, like, do all that stuff for social media. I want to be popular. Stop touching my butt!
Are we ready for red?
Let's do red.
Are we ready?
I'm ready. Get it?
You're ready. I got it. It took a little bit.
There you go.
Sorry, I was just looking at this and I'm like, is he flipping the goddamn table?
No, he's flipping the cart.
The cart! That is like a table!
My vegetables!
Motherfucker!
I don't see any cabbages on
No
my
cabbages!
My cabbages!
But
Good
yeah.
card to start with. My cabbages!
My cabbages!
I don't care if there's no cabbages in the art chat. I'm just gonna say that every time I play this card.
There's cabbages. If you post a picture of your altered art of Infuriate with cabbages and the cabbage guy
Oh yeah,
from Avatar, that'd be amazing.
that'd be great.
I would love you forever. Alright, so I give it a 1.5.
I gave it a 2. I think it's a pretty solid combat trick, but as combat tricks go, like, it's very easy to play too many, and you don't have memory slots for them. So,
Gotcha.
if you're looking for a combat trick, this one's pretty good. Otherwise,
2.
not good.
Reckless Airstrike. I gave this one also a 1.5.
Strict
It's
sideboard.
more sideboard, yeah.
Because
Because
it's strictly sideboard.
it's
opponent-
flyers.
If these modes look like they might be good, one of these modes look like they might be good against your opponent, you can bring it in.
1.5.
But you'll probably get them for free during the draft.
Scorch Spitter.
Scorch Bitter. So the best thing about this card is it's an elemental, and the worst thing about this card is it sucks.
Very true. Why I gave it a 1.5.
I gave it a 1.5. Maybe if you have enough elementals to play it, or if you're super duper aggressive, but otherwise, 1/1s for 1. Don't play them.
Very good card that is also 1 mana is Shock. This one I gave it 3.5.
Shock also gets 3.5, which is the same as Disfigure. They're close to the same card.
Very, very close. This one can go to the face, which means that it could be a little bit better, but 4 is just way too high to give Shock, so.
Yeah, we're not giving Shock 4.
Chandra's Embercat.
Meow, meow, meow. This card is an elemental synergy card, and it's adorable.
Is adorable.
It's also a 2/2, even if you don't have any elementals, so I think it's a pretty solid 2.5.
2.5 it be.
Alright, Alex agrees.
Chandra's Regulator.
Next is Chandra. This card has a lot of text, but it mostly doesn't do enough. Unless maybe you have Chandra, then you can play it.
If you're mono red with 2 or more Chandras, consider it, but don't consider it highly.
That's probably pretty good.
I gave it a
If you
1.
don't have that many red cards or Chandras, don't play it. 1.5 or 1. But those are your conditions to play it. You'll probably know if you want it.
1.5.
Ember Hauler.
Ember Hauler. It's Santa. He's bringing coal.
He's bringing red hot coals. That's Santa Goblin. I love it.
3.
Yeah, pretty solid card. 2/2 for 2. Better in a highly red deck. But also it has a shock attached. If you need a shock, he's got your back.
He also has a horn now.
It's the same card as before, man.
All right.
Moving on.
Fry!
Moving on to
Whoa!
Fry.
That bird got fried.
Fry is Fry is just like all the other sideboard cards like this. Take it as a 3, put it in your sideboard, bring it in when it's good.
Bring it in.
This one's extra good against blue because they can't counter it. Also, this card in Constructed is Fuck You Teferi.
Yeah, fuck you, Fairy.
Teferi.
Teferi.
I don't know there are many fairies I want to kill. I want to be frying in Constructed. Although I do want to say the phrase "fry your Teferi" a lot in Constructed.
I'm gonna fry your Teferi.
Fry your Teferi.
How are you gonna do that?
Moving on to Goblin Bird Grabber.
Bird Grabber.
I think
clinging on for dear life.
a lot of the times this card's just gonna be a 2/1. It's not very easy for red to have flyers.
Nope, 1.5.
It's a goblin, so 1.5. I think maybe you play it if you have Ringleader and enough goblins, or if you need a 2-drop real bad.
It's never gonna happen.
Maniacal Rage. I hate this card.
Maniacal Rage. I love this card for aggro decks, but I can only give it a 1.5.
1.5. Come on.
I
think it's a 1. Like,
all right, 1 it is. I do think that it's really good in aggro decks, especially since you can make your opponent's creatures.
Even in Guilds of Ravnica with Boros, I didn't even ever want to play it. I hate this kind of aura.
I always wanted to get like 2. It was like a pseudo removal spell in Theros.
Don't play unless you're super, super, super aggressive.
Marauding Raptor.
And crazy.
The counterintuitive creature.
He just really doesn't like creatures with 2 or less toughness, and that's okay.
That's discriminatory.
But he's powerful.
He is very, very powerful.
And red doesn't usually get ramp like that. So I gave this card a 3. I think it's really solid.
I gave him a 2.5 only because
around him a little bit, especially in red, because red has a lot of creatures with 2 toughness. But I think you can, otherwise you can do some really good things with it. Or you can play all your 2 toughness creatures before you play this. It's just a good rate, and your opponent probably has to deal with it.
You can also not have more than 2 on the board at one time.
Oh, that's true.
It's very, very sad.
Although, I will note in Constructed, this card can do some really dumb things.
He can, including draw the game. But 3. You're unlimited.
Draw the game.
If you play him with Polyraptor, it creates a loop that you can't stop.
Yeah.
Can't stop, won't stop.
That draws the game.
Mask of Emulation, your favorite card.
I like this card a lot. This card's like, it's not as good as Mortar Pod, but it's good. The ability to sacrifice creatures for 1 damage is really, I think, really powerful, and the fact that it comes with 1 creature to do it the first time is really good. I gave this card a 3.5 because I think it's just that powerful.
I put it down to a 3. I think it's a pretty good enabler for a lot of the different things that you want to be doing in like black and or red, especially because it does also give you some reach.
I think it might be a 3, but like I've been really impressed when I've been playing with it, and there's a lot of like 1 toughness creatures that it kills, and I think that makes it really good.
All right, 3.5. Pack Mastiff. Big disagreement here. I put it as a 1.5 though.
Why?
Because
like
you need multiples of it.
2-drop. It's okay on its own. It's playable.
It's playable, but it's not.
I mean, it's 2 mana 2/2 with upside.
Solid.
It's hard to be less than a 2. Right? I think it's better in multiples. That's upside.
So Goblin Assailant as a 2/2.
It's not Goblin Assailant.
I know, but I'm saying as a reference, Goblin Assailant as a 2/2 we put as 0.5.
Yeah, because there's no upside to that card.
Yeah, there is a slight upside.
This card can trade up with other creatures, and if you have more than 1 of them, it's actually kind of
and you have to
really
waste
good.
mana on it.
Well, not really.
What'd
good,
you say it was?
Pretty good. 2.5.
All right, Mastiff at 2.
Fine.
This dude.
Don't skip the Awakener.
Huh?
Don't skip the Awakener.
Oh, I thought I saw he was uncommon. My bad. Thunderkin Awakener, Elemental Bro. Whenever he attacks, choose a target elemental creature in your graveyard with toughness less than Thunderkin Awakener's toughness. Return that card to the battlefield, tapped and attacking. Sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step.
I think this card could be really good in the elemental deck, and then If you have a lot of elementals that have one or less power, which some of the good ones do.
Toughness.
Toughness?
Toughness.
Oh, one or less toughness, even better.
Yeah, the toughness makes it a lot better, especially since some of the green ones have like 2 toughness or 3.
Well,
but I think there's a lot that you need to do to enable them.
Scorcher, it gets Risen Reef, back, that kind of stuff. But it's mostly a constructed card. But it's an elemental, and if it has synergy with the other elementals, you probably play it. Otherwise, don't put it in your deck.
I put it as a 2.
I give it 1.5 because it's like strictly an elemental card to me.
1.5! Thunderkin Awakener.
Unchained Berserker.
Unchained.
Alright, so this
Django
is...
Where was he? I gave him a 2.5.
I'm actually going to give him a 3 because he's one of those... He's one of those, particularly from a color of creatures that you don't mind main decking. Like, an aggressive red deck is like always going to play a 1/1 that attacks for 3, and if when it has protection in white, it gets even better. But maybe it's like a 2.5.
I'm gonna keep
it's
it
really
at
bad on defense
2.
unless they're white.
5.
Alright, fine.
It's a 1.
I'm
It's
going
a
back
2
down to
mana
2.5. I just changed it.
Which you
but
said was horrible
I
stats.
changed my mind.
2.5. Active
horrible if you're not
Treason.
attacking.
It's very, very horrible.
But it's still good if they're white. Act of Treason. God, they've reprinted this card so many times.
Yeah, it's like, are you done yet?
I'm gonna go. I went 1.5 on Act of Treason. I think you have to be super aggressive to want it, or you have sacrifice synergies, but there's just not that much ways to sacrifice.
1.5. If you have
Gets better with Bone Splinters for sure. Pretty good combo with Bone Splinters.
Your favorite card?
What? Bone Splinters?
The mask.
Oh yeah, the mask. Yeah, it's alright with the mask. You have to pay 2 mana to equip, but
1.5.
it's much better with
5 mana, take a
free
creature.
sacrifice effects.
Like, seems fine. Chandra, Acolyte of the Flames.
Oh, we're getting into Chandra's here.
1.5. I
one's
do
the
not
rare.
like her one little bit.
You don't like this one?
No.
I don't like this one.
I don't like this one.
I like
Her nothing. Okay, we're just gonna say it does nothing. Her second ability does next to nothing.
Not in the
Okay.
elemental deck. Second ability is insane in the
Oh
elemental
my
deck.
god, how is it insane?
Because it puts 2 elementals into play.
Wow.
Every turn. I think you're
Her
mostly...
second ability is
I
next
think
to nothing.
In the non-elemental deck, you're playing her for her -2, which you kind of have to build around. Very good with murder, pretty good with unsummon and shock and disfigure and other removals. Any kind of removal spell that costs 3 or less makes this card pretty good. So I gave it a 3. But
I'm sticking to 1.
Alex
She
doesn't
can't protect
think
herself.
she's worth building around.
She can't protect herself. If you want to minus her, that means that you need to spend more than 3 mana just to play an additional spell that you have already played this game.
She costs 3 though, and she can come down at 5. That's pretty good at protecting yourself on 3.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like the same argument as like Act of Treason and equipping the mask. It's like you have to play Chandra and cast the spell, which means that it's like a minimum of 6 mana for you to do like something relevant.
Well,
I don't know. I just feel like she's very underwhelming, and then she's like even more build around than most cards.
she's a little bit of a build around, but I think it's worth it.
All right.
You're either building around instants and sorceries cost 3 or less, which are removal spells you're going to take anyway, or you're building around like other Chandras or building around elementals, or all 3.
All right. You said 3.
I said 3.
All right. 2.5 Chandra.
All right, I'll count it. I'll count that as win. I made you go up an entire grade, entire number.
Well, that's how it is.
All right, well,
We go half, and then we lean towards your answer.
fair enough. All right, Chandra Spitfire.
Spitfire.
I like this elemental.
I do too.
I like it because it's elemental, but also this card could be a huge beating. Like,
as long as you got the right stuff. Like, Chandra's Outrage makes it a lot better.
I got my butt kicked by this card into double Chandra's Outrage in Sealed, and it did not feel good.
I did too. My opponent, he had two of the masks.
I just took 6 2 turns in a row, and they kept killing my creature. I'm like, this is...
He had 2 of the
killing my creature, I'm dealing 6.
emoliating masks.
It's really good with the mask, too.
And he shot, like, he attacked with that, and it didn't block, and I was like, okay, well, whatever. And then he, like, shot me for 2, and I was like, why would you do that? And then those went on the stack, and I was like, oh,
I'm dead. Yeah, I did that, too.
Yeah, for some reason I was thinking, like, non-combat.
I also got even
spell.
fancier. I used Goblin Smuggler to make it unblockable, and then I sacrificed 2 creatures to my mask. And then I put my mask on another creature, and then I attacked. And did like 12 damage in 1 turn.
Booyah. So it does have combo
potential. I give
potential.
it 2.5.
I give it a 2.
In certain decks, I think it could be a 3 or greater, but I think on average it'll be a 2.5.
2.5.
Because it is an elemental, Alex. Notably.
Oh my god, elementals are not god. We're not saving the elementals anymore. Fuck the elementals.
I mean...
Burn them alive.
They could be worth... I mean, I think being an elemental sometimes is worth 0.5 of a grade. That's all I'm saying.
I'm just racist.
Whatever. Constructive Digger.
Speciesist. Destructive Digger. 3 mana, 3/2. 3 mana tap, sacrifice an artifact or a land to draw a card. I think this guy is semi-fringe, but he's still like pretty decent. His stats are okay. He gets you to have the ability to draw a card and especially get rid of like artifacts that you just don't need or want anymore.
Yeah.
So I gave him a 2. I think he's like fine, but
I think he's a 2. He would be a 1 if he didn't have an ability that was relevant, but I think his ability can definitely be relevant in the late game.
Yep.
2 for Destructive Trigger.
2.
And he's Goblin, notably.
Sweep the leg!
Because there's like 1 card in this set that cares about goblins.
Sweep the leg with Flame Sweep.
Flame Sweep the leg.
The Pyroclasm for the ground.
I don't really know... This card was really hard for me to rate.
Yeah.
I looked at all like the common and uncommon red creatures, and it kills a lot of them. All the cheap ones, and even some of the ones that are more expensive.
So it's good. It's good against aggro.
Not a red card. It's like a card that you splash in your blue-white deck, which I think it might be the best place for it. Or it's a sideboard card, because it could be good for that too.
It's like if Earthquake and Pyroclasm had a baby.
But if like I average all those, I think I wind up at a 2. So
yeah, I'm at 2
I think a lot of red decks are not going to play it in the main deck, but it could be a good sideboard card. And then if you have creatures, if most of your creatures don't die to it, you probably play it.
Yeah, or if you're like even a control deck or like trying to go into the late game, it's good for early removal.
An average of 2 for Flame Sweep.
Then we have Glinthorn Buccaneer. 3 mana, haste, 2/4. Whenever you discard a card, Glinthorn deals 1 damage to each opponent. Each opponent's not targeting, so that's good. 2 mana, discard a card, draw a card. Activate this ability only when he's attacking, which is pretty restrictive.
He's got
but
weird stats. It's so weird to see a 2/4 for 3 in red, but it also has haste. It's also weird to see a 2/4 with haste.
Solid.
He's super solid. Like his stats are really solid. He loots or he rummages for you, and whenever you discard a card, you deal 1 damage each opponent. Notably, this works with Keldon Raider, Bag of Holding, the Regisaur,
Flame Cavalier.
Yeah.
So I gave him a
works
3.
with like a lot of things. I think he's like on the bottom edge of 3.5 for me, just because you get so much for 3 mana. I think he deserves a 3.5.
Okay. 3.5. Goblin Smuggler. Make all your 2 or less power guys unblockable for the turn. He also has haste.
No, he only makes 1, but yes. If it was all your creatures with power 2 or less become unblockable, would be very good.
Very good.
But I like him at a 2.5.
I put him as a 2. Because like you have to kind of like have a bunch of creatures with 2 power, which means that like all your other creatures that are more powerful than that don't get the benefit of that effect.
I don't know. He's been really solid for me. Like, just chipping in damage. He's really good with Audacious Thief. I think if you have Audacious Thief, he gets a lot better. Like a 2.5 or a 3.
Or Lavakin Brawler, who's good with that.
He's good with Lavakin Brawler. Good with Spitfire. Just
Okay.
There's a lot of red creatures have 2 less power, and he just gets damage in.
2.5.
2.5 for Goblin Smuggler.
Uncaged Fury. This card could be really good.
This is one of those cards that like I never want to play, but always murders the crap out of me.
Yeah.
I almost never play around it because it's very hard to play around.
Well, yeah, and like you don't hardly ever see it.
My opponent has 1 unblocked creature, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna play it, and I'm like, guess I'm dead.
Good job, opponent.
It's a powerful combat trick. It's expensive, but powerful. It's usually a finisher, so that's why I gave it a 2. Because
I gave it 2 to 2.5. If you put it in the right green deck, it can be pretty devastating. Like the addition of giving a creature +1/+1 as well is pretty powerful in the way that
mostly just does a bunch of damage though.
Yeah, but it almost assures that you're gonna win that fight.
All right,
it's just really good.
But
2.
We're gonna go 2 on it. It's powerful finisher sometimes.
Chandra Novice Pyromancer. This one I feel like is better than the rare. I think that this is
better than the rare too. I give this one a 3.5.
I think this is better than most of the other Chandras too.
Pretty good uncommon. It's especially good with elemental. With you have elementals, of course, because then her +1 is much more relevant.
I give her a 3.
Just her ability to come down and she shocks, and then she shocks again, and then she still has the ability to pick up and shock again. It's really quite powerful.
Yeah, and so like with me, I saw the mana ramp as well as like a big defining factor because you can definitely like play something else to be able to defend her as well. Things. And
that's why I like her.
I felt like 3 was a better example because she does protect herself with the shock as well.
3.5 for Chandra. Novice Pyromancer.
Wait, what'd you give her?
3.5.
Oh, okay, sweet, 3.5. Outrage.
Chandra's Outrage.
This one I gave it 3.5. It's just very powerful.
Yeah, it's powerful. It does a lot of damage. But I could only give it a 3. Just because 4 damage doesn't... I've noticed it's not killing a lot of the bombs in this format like I want it to. So I'm going to leave it at a 3. There's too many creatures with 5 toughness. It makes me annoyed.
Yeah, but it kills like everything Shock does.
Yeah, sure.
It's not as mana efficient, but
3 for Chandra's Outrage.
3?
Yeah.
Alright. Dagger Sail Aeronaut. 4 mana, 3/2, has flying on your turn only. I give it a 2. Just because flying can be pretty relevant for the red color side. But I can see him being lower.
I give him a 2.5. I think red doesn't get flyers like this very often, and it's happy to have them. Plus, like,
4 mana.
Apparently, some people think that all the Jeskai colors are like the flying colors for like the flying deck, and if they're right, then this card will be better than I think. So I hedged to 2.5.
4 mana though?
I mean, this is basically Assault Griffin, because you don't usually block with those. You can still block, just not the creatures with flying.
Okay. 2.5.
2.5.
That looks cool. Goblin Ringleader. We might have a discussion on this one. I didn't like her that much.
I don't know.
Gave it a 1.
I counted all the common and uncommon goblins, and I came to the conclusion that maybe there's a deck there. So I gave it a 1.5.
I gave it a 1. The likelihood that you're going to find a bunch of goblins in the top of your deck is very, very low.
You only need to find like 1 to make this a good card, though. If you find more, it's kind of insane.
Yeah, the one that you find is Goblin Bird Grabber.
I'm in. For
You're
that.
like, oh, okay.
If I could play this and always get a bird grabber, I'm in. 1.5 for Goblin Ringleader. I think it could be a worthwhile build around.
1.5.
Okay. Keldon Raider.
Keldon Raider. I put it as a 2.5. Just because you do have to discard the card to get to be able to draw the card. If it wasn't a May, then that would be nice. But yeah, the stats are okay for a 4-drop. 2.5.
Stats are great for red. For common. I gave it a 3. I think in Dominaria it was like a 2.5, but I think Dominaria was a much more powerful set than this, and you'll play it a little bit more than that. I think you play it in almost all your red decks that can cast it. Plus it has random synergy with things like that Glenhorn Buccaneer, and I really like it with Bag of Holding.
Okay. 3-4 Raider.
Best friends with Bag of Holding.
They're very good acquaintances.
Yeah. Lavakin Brawler is our next card. That's our this is our common elemental payoff.
Yeah, dude.
And sometimes this thing really packs a punch.
Packs a punch!
Even in sealed, we had board states where it would attack for 6 damage, which is pretty good. Quite good for a 4-drop.
And it counts itself.
Yeah.
Which is
And
pretty
it's
nice.
good with Goblin Smuggler to get that 6 damage right into their face.
Yeah.
I gave Lavakin Brawler a 3.
3.
Or maybe it should be 2.5.
I think 3 is fine. This is one of your payoffs. This is the reason why you want to go into elementals.
Yeah. What's your comment? 3 to
Ley Line of Combustion. Now, all the other ley lines have been 0, and you are definitely going to want to go 0 as well, but I feel like this is actually a 1.5.
I actually went 0.5 with this one because I think
Gotcha.
this is the one ley line that I could actually see sideboarding in.
Finally!
Sometimes.
We got a ley line, guys! Finally!
There's decks with a lot of removal that just could never beat this card.
Yeah, if you're playing against black-red, this card's amazing.
Probably.
This card's so
If they're
good.
black-red control, they're going to get owned by it.
Mm-hmm.
Probably don't play this card. I wouldn't board this. I would board this in if I'm aggressive and an opponent has a lot of interaction. And then they're just never going to be able to come back into the game.
So
They're
a
going to
1.
take a bunch of damage and then they're going to try and interact with my board and they're going to die for it.
Ley Line of Combustion, we got a 1 for it.
Boarded in only.
Repeated Reverberation. This card can be good, but you have to have a lot of mana into it, which means that because you have to have another card to make it good enough, I put it as a 1.5.
I actually put it as a 1. I think power level could be there, but it's got such a high setup cost.
Yeah. I
found
mean,
that-
the alternative is that if you are able to draft this as well as a Planeswalker, then you don't need to have such a high mana cost value.
Yeah,
But
that makes it better.
even on the mana cost value, is
It's like a build around with a huge
Yeah.
setup cost. I've had an opponent cast it on their and then cast Winged Words and they drew 6 cards. I was pretty jealous.
fun.
I think it would have been better if they waited and just cast 3 Chandra's Outrages though. That would have killed me.
So
And I
repeated
knew they had the
reverberation
outrage in their hands, so I was actually kind of happy that they did it that way.
as a 1.
Ooh.
Then we have Scampering Scourger.
I like this one.
This guy is fun.
This guy's solid already, 3 1/1s for 4, but they're all elementals. And elementals
Yeah.
you control gain haste until end of turn. I think
Really
it's pretty
good.
Sweet.
Really good with Uncommon Chandra, too.
So his rate's pretty good. Oh yeah, with Uncommon Chandra, they're just all
Blue
all
ones.
spark elementals. You don't have to
Yeah.
just sacrifice.
Sweet.
Yeah, that's good. I think this card's gonna be really good in the ML deck, but it's also gonna just be a solid card in any red deck.
I put it up to a 3.
I'll go up to a 3, sure. I think in the elemental deck it could be insane. The dream is you play Risen Reef and into this.
Oh, yeah.
And then, You get like 3 Coiling Oracles worth of value.
So good.
So good.
Tectonic Rift.
Draw 3 cards. Or have 3 Rampant Growths.
3 green.
Some combination of those two. Tectonic Rift. This is one of those cards that like I never like to play. Sometimes I'll board it in if there's a board stall, or you can play it as a 1-of in like a really aggressive deck as a finisher. And that's why it's a 1 to me.
That's 1 as well.
Alright, 1 for
Same
Tectonic Rift.
Reasoning.
Just like it always is.
Nope, not that guy.
Card.
Cavalier of the Flame!
Alright.
Woo!
This guy's
I love this guy.
This guy's good.
This guy's awesome.
I don't quite think he's a 5. To me, he's a 4.5. He doesn't really bring you back from behind.
I feel like he's a 4.5 to 5,
if his
though.
dying ability hit creatures too, he'd just be insane. He'd be like the best card in the set, and a 5 for sure. Because then like they kill it and all their creatures die, maybe, or some of their creatures die. Because you do have to get lands in your graveyard, which isn't the easy to do.
But it's definitely doable. But like the thing about discarding your hand as well, just to reshape it, is kind of like a Neheb's like end game ability. So it's like definitely better than a 4.
It's just
an
extremely powerful card.
4.5 to 5 is just where I'm at. Especially if he's able to like survive an extra turn, then whatever creature you play, just add 2 mana, gains haste, and you can attack with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it turns on a lot.
And it's elemental.
And it's an elemental. Yeah. In the colors.
4.5 for Cavalier.
4.5. Then we got Fire Elemental. Yay!
What did I give Fire Elemental? I'll give it a 1.5.
1.5.
I think you play it to flow your curve, or if you need another elemental, otherwise you don't. Rapacious Dragon. I gave this card a 3.
I gave it a 2.
Because it's a 3/3 flyer for 5 in red, but with upside. Those treasure tokens can be quite good.
Yeah, so, I mean, there are some synergies where you can use the 2 treasure tokens as artifacts in a way to like draw a card or to potentially change them into other ones, but then we're like into like the rare section.
Dude, you can sacrifice those treasures to the digger and draw cards with them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. But he does get to pay for his cost, so it's like essentially just a 3-mana 3/3 flyer in red.
If I didn't have flying, I wouldn't like it.
Yeah. I only gave it a 2, but I could push it up to a 3. It's pretty solid.
3 for Rapacious Dragon. Plus it has synergy with Kalia.
Kalia! Oh man.
All I want to do is cast this dragon and then cast one of the broken.
Don't do it.
Reduce to ashes.
5 damage to target creature. If that creature would die this turn, exile it instead. This card's amazing.
This card's clunky AF.
Clunky?
The clunkiest removal spell of all time.
How are you? You just said everybody has 5 toughness, and I really hate it because Chandra's fire doesn't
there's
do
enough creatures with 5 toughness that I don't like it.
I gave it a 3. This card's one of the more premium removals. It also removes a lot of the creatures from the graveyard, which means that they can't be reanimated or brought back by a lot of the black effects.
I gave it a 1.5. Dude, but maybe
what decent removal does red have?
Alright, I'll give it a 2 because this is core set. But like,
when
we had this card in Shadows and Innistrad, it was a straight up D because it was just so clunky.
Yeah, but
you're
like
always trading down on your mana and never getting ahead with this card. This card answers most things, usually at mana disadvantage, but I think you probably play the first one and when you're red and you sideboard the rest, but it's so clunky. It's 5 mana.
Gets rid of 8. They don't draw cards.
It's 5 mana.
It's 5 damage.
I give it a 2. 2 for reduced.
2.5 for reduced to ashes.
Alright, and now we get to Chandra.
Mythic
Chandra.
It's 5 o'clock time.
The best 5 of all the 5s.
This is the premium card. If you see this card, you better windmill slam the shit out of it.
This card's the best card in the set.
By far. It does everything. It gives an emblem, which eventually wins you the game. It's allowing to deal 3 damage to non-elemental creatures to wipe the board. And then you can just target something, kill it, shoot it, and it gets exiled.
Yep. Just so good.
Does everything. 5. Pick it. If it's pack 3, splash into red.
Find a Gift of Paradise or a Lotus Field and splash.
Just do it.
We're almost done with red now.
Rip Scale!
Rip Scale, Predator, 6'5". Dinosaur.
Gave it a 2.
I gave it a 1.5.
It's a little bit cost heavy for me.
It's like sort of a finisher if you don't have a better 6 rep.
1.5.
But it's okay. 1.5 for...
Volcanic Dragon's not in here.
You'll play it sometimes. No, it's not. Alright. Dragon Mage.
Dragon Mage. It's
My
a trap.
pick for trap.
It's a trap.
I have not been impressed with this card. 7 mana for 5/5 is not actually that great of a rate. You need a big flying finisher. It sort of does the trick, but also it also gives your opponent a bunch of cards.
Yeah, if you're like a red deck that's like packed full burn, or if you really need to find an answer, then go ahead and attack. But it's a trap.
I think it's generally a trap. You generally don't put it in your deck. That's why it's a 1.
1, get her done.
Ooh.
I wanted to give him a 5 so bad.
If he didn't cost 7, I would give him a 5. Because you're just...
I actually wrote down he's a 5 to a 4.5.
You just always win if you get to attack with this card. It's insane.
You know what? I'm going to say he's a 5.
You're going to say he's a 5?
I think this is a bomb.
But he costs 7, man.
Yeah. You can
7,
ramp up to him. There's colorless ramp.
He dies to removal without doing anything.
Yeah. A lot of the 7 drops, if not all of them, die to removal.
I can't go up to 5. I can't go up to 5 for any of these 7
That's
drops.
fine. We'll go with 4.5.
Because they cost 7.
But if you like the sound of my voice, it's a 5. But officially, it's 4.5.
4.5. You should, I mean, you take it over every common and uncommon. Because it's...
You take it over most of the rares in the 4.
Yeah, most of the rares. I mean, it's a 4.5.
It's so amazing. 4.5. And that's red, guys. We get to end it with the wonderful, awesome dragon.
And that's the end of red.
It's so pretty.
We made it to the end of red. Alright, that was better. 34 minutes for red. About 35, actually. Dude, that... We were playing that dragon in sealed chat, and every time it attacked, we just won the same turn.
Every single
that card's so insane.
time.
It's the definition of a bomb. If they don't deal with it, they lose. Straight up.
If I saw him in a pack 1, pick 1, I'd be like...
Slamming it.